sine square theta minus 1.
Sine theta.
Equal to 2 sine square theta minus 1.
Sine theta raised to power what? 4.
4.
Minus what?
Cos theta raised to power 4. Cos theta raised to power 4.
Equals what?
2 sine square theta minus 1. Sine square theta minus 1.
Equals 2 sine square theta minus 1. Are you there? Equals 2 sine square theta minus 1. So the left-hand side is what? We want to show that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side.
Yes,
The left-hand side
yes, sir.
is the fourth power of sine theta minus the fourth power of cos theta. And that means what? We can write this expression as a difference of two squares. So it becomes
Yes,
sine
sir.
squared theta
Yes, sir. Plus cos square theta.
plus
Square theta.
cos squared theta times sine squared theta
Minus cos square theta.
minus cos squared theta. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Sine squared theta minus cos squared theta. So what's the next step? When you are doing it, you make sure you keep an eye on the right-hand side, so that you know what terms you should keep and what terms you should discard. Is that clear? Or you shouldn't keep. Now, what's the next thing to do? We need, on the right-hand side, is only sign that we need. So,
yes, sir.
Cos square theta is same
Yes,
as
sir.
sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1, right? So that would be 1 times sine square theta. No, cos square theta is 1 minus what?
1 minus sine square theta.
Sine square theta. So that would be sine square theta minus open bracket 1 minus sine square theta. You understand? And that's equal to what?
Yes, sir.
If you multiply 1 by the whole of this, you get the whole of this. So we now have sine squared theta. When you open this bracket, what do you have? Minus 1 plus
sine squared
theta. Sine squared theta plus sine squared theta is what?
That is 2 sine squared theta minus
2 sine squared theta minus 1, which is equal to the right-hand side. And that's a proof. What's the next one?
1
H,
over
right?
sec theta minus 1.
Say that again.
Okay. That 19-ish.
19H, yes. The question is 1 over sec theta minus 1.
Plus 1 over sec theta plus 1.
Have we not done this one already?
No, sir.
Okay, is equal to what?
Equal to 2 cos theta cosec square theta.
Is equal to 2 cos or cot? Is it COS or COT?
COS.
Okay, 2 cos theta cosec square theta, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought we had done this before. So the left-hand side is 1 over sec theta minus 1 plus 1 over sec theta plus 1. Is that correct? So what's the LCM of the denominators? What's the LCM of the denominators?
Sec theta minus 1 sine theta minus 1.
Beautiful. Sec theta minus 1. Sec theta minus 1 times what?
Times sec theta plus 1.
Sec theta plus 1. Sec theta minus 1 times sec theta plus 1. Now, when we divide this LCM by sec theta minus 1, we get sec theta plus 1. If you multiply that by 1, it becomes sec theta plus 1. Plus, when you divide this LCM by sec theta plus 1, you get sec theta minus 1. You multiply that by 1 and you get sec theta minus 1. Is that clear? And that means what? 1 minus 1 is 0. Sec theta plus sec theta is what?
2 sec theta.
Over what?
Over
Sec theta minus 1 times sec theta plus 1 is the same as what?
Sec square theta
Minus 1 square. Do you understand? That's a difference of 2 squares. The square of sec theta minus the square of 1. So that means what?
Yes,
I can write it this way. The square of sec theta minus the square of 1. Exactly. That's what it means. But they usually write the square of a trig ratio this way. Exactly. You write the square of sec theta this way. If you want to write the cube of sec theta, which means this is the same as sec cube theta. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what does that mean? 2 sec theta over what? What does sec square theta minus 1 represent?
Let's split 2 sec theta square theta minus 1.
Say that again, please. We should use what?
You split them.
Okay, into sec theta minus 1 times sec theta plus 1.
You do
What did you say?
2 sec theta. 2 over cos theta divided by.
No, I don't do this. What identity does sec square theta minus 1 represent? Okay, you are looking at the right hand side. We need cos theta and cosec square theta. Okay. What are you saying we should do? We should do. Okay, you are saying we should do 2 sec theta times 1 over. Before we go to that, let's write what this denominator represents first. What does that denominator represent? What identity represents sec square theta minus 1? I understand what you're saying, but let's do that. Let's find an identity for sec square theta minus 1 first. What identity does that represent? What identity does sec square theta minus 1 represent? Sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1.
Yes, sir.
1 plus tan square theta is equal to what? 1 plus tan square theta is equal to what?
Sec square theta.
Sec square theta. And at the same time, 1 plus cot square theta is equal to what?
Cosec square theta.
Cosec square theta. So if you make tan square theta the subject of this formula, what does it become? From this one, tan square theta is equal to what?
Tan square theta equals to sec square theta minus 1.
So that's what we are going to write instead of sec square theta minus 1. Do you understand? So it will become 2 sec theta over tan square theta. You should know the first 3 that we found. You should know those 3 we found. You should know those 3 we found. Sin square theta plus cos square theta equals 1. 1 plus tan square theta equals sec square theta. 1 plus cot square theta equals cosec square theta. So this simply means what? 2 sec theta times 1 over tan square theta. And that will be what? 2 sec theta. Tan square theta is sin square theta over cos square theta. Because you know that tan theta is sin theta over cos theta. So the square of tan theta will be sin square theta over cos square theta. So 1 divided by tan square theta over 1 divided by tan square theta is same as what? It's same as what?
Cos square theta over theta.
Let's do that here. 1 divided by tan square theta simply means 1 over sin square theta over cos square theta, and that will be 1 times cos square theta over sin square theta. So that's what I'm going to write here, which is cos square theta over sin square theta. Is that correct? So that means 1 over tan square theta is the same as what? Cos square theta over sin square theta.
Yes, sir.
Cos square theta over sin square theta. Exactly. Now, what does that mean? Don't forget, they said we should show that it is equal to 2 cos theta cosec squared theta.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So what do we do? Sec theta.
Like
What's
2
sec
over
theta?
cos theta.
What's sec theta?
1 over
2
cos
times
theta cos theta.
1 over cos theta. Exactly.
Cos
Times,
theta. Cos theta. Yes, sir.
we can already see the answer.
Sir.
Over
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
sine squared theta. So
Yes,
cos
sir.
squared theta, cos theta will cancel cos squared theta to leave cos theta. And what do we have finally? And you can already see the answer. That means 2 times
That is 2 cos theta. Cos theta. 1
cos
over
theta
sine theta.
over, I want to write this step first, over sine squared theta. Exactly. And that is same as saying
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 times cos theta times 1 over sine squared theta. 1 over sine squared theta. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
And that's equal to what? 2
2 cos
cos theta. 1 over sine squared
cosec
theta
squared theta.
is cosec squared theta. Exactly. And that's the right hand side. Do you
Yes, sir.
understand?
Yes, sir.
And that's the right hand side. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. That's it. What's the next one? Will that be all?
Yes, sir.